right, you are live. Go live here. Go live on the Instagram. Go live. Okay, we're live here. All right, we're live there. Live everywhere.
Right?
Always. It's always shenanigans. It's always shenanigans. What's up, everybody? What up, Nate Grimes? What up, Doc? Man, these are some usernames here. What's up, everybody? What's up, Instagram? W. Walser has joined. What up? What up, Sterling? What up, Darquan 007? What up, Tevin? What's up? What's up, Vonnie Lace? What up, Vonnie Lace? What up, Mika Boo? What up, Mika Boo? Mika Boo, where do you live? Where do you live, Mika Boo? Let me know where you live. Where you at? Where do you reside, Mika Boo? Where do you reside, Mika Boo? Let's see. What's up, everybody? What it do? Mika Boo, when I think about your name, I think about that part. What it do, Boo? Do people ever say that to you? Tadala Tarek. I'm trying to talk with you in so many days, but you are not responding. Well, I'm responding here. What's up, DG? Peace. What's happening? What up? Greetings. Docs Mindiama. Y'all got to change your names. Put your names on the Instagram handles. Always say, who are y'all running and hiding from? Tyler Jack, you are a friend of Don Ray. Oh, I am. I'm good friends with him. All right, D. Just call me D. Thank you. D. I wonder how I'm trying to figure out what your Instagram handle is. DJC. Oh, DDJZ. DDJC. Just call me D. And the other one is Doxy is me and I am he. All right, Doxy. Oh, Doxy is me and I am he. Got it. Okay, y'all are trying to do riddles today on Instagram. I see. Jorge, damn, I'm late. What up, Mike? You're not late, Jorge. Jorge, you could never be late, my guy. You are always on time with me. When you show up, that means you are on time. Right, Jorge? What up, Naquita? How are you? Good to see you, friend. What up, Mike? What up, Tony T? What it be? I guess I'm in a hip hop mode. We've been talking about Jay-Z for a while. Jay-Z's gonna enter this chat pretty soon. Not literally enter the chat, but enter the conversation. I don't want to do any false advertisements here. Cat's like, wait, Jay-Z's coming? Yeah, so Jay-Z's not coming into the chat, but we definitely gonna talk about Jay-Z in a second. What up, RL Edwards? What up, Anthony? Good to see you, my friend. And Mika Boo, where you from? You let me know where you live. I forgot. NYG fan in Pa. What's good, Mike? What up, my boy? Good to see you. Sound like you're a new actor. Okay, welcome to Hollywood, as they say. Welcome to Hollywood. That's what Jay says. I guess I'm in a Jay-Z mood. Welcome to Hollywood. Take my picture. That's what Beyonce says. Kat and I just left Hollywood. Hooray for Hollywood. Hooray for Hollywood. I'm in a little bit of a silly mood, folks. I don't know what kind of MuseRoom y'all going to get today. I am in a little bit of a silly mood today. But feeling good, though. Feeling good. Happy Wednesday to you all. Glad you guys are here. What's on everybody's minds? What's your thoughts? Let's go. Sup, Cleveland in the house. Tay Jigs, Cleveland in the house. All right. Oh, Mika Boo, you're in Syracuse. Got it. New coach. Oh, yeah, Syracuse has a new coach. Mika Boo, I just love your name, Mika Boo. I don't know if I'm even saying it right, but I love it. Mika Boo. How did you get that name? Did you name yourself Mika Boo? Do people call you Mika Boo? I'll be curious to see where you are. Let me toggle over to Instagram. NYG fan and pause. Said, Mike, we discussed the Padron cigars last summer. What's up, my guy? We did. Very smart. Coach Vel, good day, Muse. Good day, Coach. In Circle Promo says, what do you think about Jay's interview? I'm going to talk about that in a second, so I like that. Teta Lataric says, I like your smiling face. Thank you. Teta Lataric. I don't know if I'm even saying your name right, but here we are. Here we are, Teta Lataric. What up, folks? Happy Wednesday, y'all. Let's see. What else do we got? Oh, okay, got it. A friend gave you that nickname. No wonder. Mikaboo. Mikaboo. Friend gave you the name. All right. What's up? What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Listen, I have been fielding so many Jay-Z calls the last couple of days. Everyone is looking at Jay-Z tickets. And I don't got them. I've been telling everybody, man, I'm giving it all to God. I am praying that a last minute ticket will somehow magically appear. So we say, listen, Kat, I don't got no tickets for you. Is anybody out there going to the Jay-Z concert? Do y'all want to go to the Jay-Z concert? You're trying to go to the Jay-Z concert? I mean, the tickets are all sold out. So there's that dynamic. But I believe in God. And I believe in a higher power.
God wants you to be at the Jay-Z concert.
God wants me to be at Yankee Stadium, right? Like,
specifically for the Yankees. I'm going to be here.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically for the Jay-Z concert.
Oh, yeah. God says you have to be specific in your request and your ask, right? When you go to God in prayer, you have to be very specific in your request. So I definitely want to be at Yankee Stadium with Jay-Z performing. And y'all, I don't want to go just to one night. I want to go to nights 1, 2, and extra innings. We're going to try. Kat feels like we can get a MuseRoom box. So again, from her mouth to God's ears, and let's see what God has in mind to see what everybody wants to do. What up, Shamel? Happy Wednesday. Hey, Mike, hook 'em horns. Here you go with that hook 'em stuff. Here we go. You got us in the football season. But listen, y'all will not be cutting down the nets come the end of March Madness. Yeah, Michigan will definitely be cutting down the nets. Hook'ems, you guys will be singing that song, The Shining Moment. You guys will see the shining moments. Wait, Vonnie Lace, you got your Jay-Z tickets? Wait, no, put Vonnie Lace on the stage. Put Vonnie Lace on the stage, Kat. Put Vonnie Lace. You got Jay-Z tickets? Vonnie, who do you know? Who do you know?
How much you paid? You can buy Jay-Z tickets.
You can't even buy. They sold out in like a couple of minutes. Oh, they're still available online? I thought they were sold out. No one's doing resale. We're not. Yeah.
You can buy tickets. You just can't afford them.
Vonnie Lace, who do you know? Give up your plug, Vonnie Lace. Congratulations to Vonnie Lace. Vonnie, who else got tickets in here? I'm Nosebleed. Vonnie, it don't matter, Nosebleed. You're in the building. You're about to witness history. Who else got tickets to Jay-Z? Make yourselves known. I didn't know I had like super extra people in here. Boucher Elizabeth, me too. I believe in God. See, it's God is going to give you that. But God's going to give us these tickets. I really believe in that. Shamel, lower level seats. Put that in my prayer too. Okay, I got you. I got you with the lower level seats too. It's all going in the prayer box. I guess this is now a prayer request. Submit all your prayer requests. Jorge planning on going to Wu-Tang Bone Thugs for Orlando. Jorge, no one's talking about Wu-Tang right now. Shout out to 36 Chambers. Shout out to Bone Thugs and Harvey. Oh man, I forgot the Bone Thugs main song. It's the first of the month. Cause it's the first of the month. But we talking about Hove. We talking about I can make a Yankee cat more famous than a Yankee can. What's good, Hove? Who else got tickets? Anybody else? Is Vonnie the only VIP up in here? Vonnie, you the only VIP, all high VIP. Exactly. Throwing up the rock. My God, heard my prayers there. My birthday week, Lord, heard my cry. Did you fast, Vonnie? Like, what did you do? Did you do the Daniel fast? Like, what did you do? Did you speak in tongues? Like, are you drunk in the spirit? Like, are you an apostle? What are you, Vonnie? Are you an evangelist? Are you a first lady? Are you on the mother's board, trustees board? Because I don't know how you got it, but I am going in prayer, standing in prayer. Okay, so Bonnie's only VIP up here because no one else is saying they got tickets. All right, so Bonnie, you win today's VIP prize. Oh man, we got Belize in the house. In the house. Literally the handle is in the house that Karen built. So what's up, Karen? Good morning, Mike from Belize. When you visit, yo, we trying to do the MuseRoom in Belize. Pull up, connect us to the tourism board. DM me at I am Mike Muse. Tell the tourism board of Belize we are happy to bring the show on the road. For that one. Let's see. So literally everybody still wants to go to the Jay-Z concert. All jokes aside, though, I am super excited for Jay-Z being back on the scene. I was so shocked that he did an interview with GQ, but shout out to my man Freddie. I think the editor's name is a writer. Forgive me, sir. I can't remember your name. I wasn't expecting to talk about Jay-Z right now, so I always like to give attribution to journalists, but he's a young man. I think his name is Freddie. If anybody can put his name in the chat, I want to make sure I give him his flowers and give him his attribution. He landed an incredible cover story for GQ. So from journalist Fraser Tharp, that's my guy's name, Fraser Tharp. Congratulations to Fraser Tharp on landing an incredible GQ cover. Not only did he get the Jay-Z GQ cover, but he got the Beyonce GQ cover. So shout out to Fraser Tharp. It was a really great interview, and Jay-Z doesn't do a lot of interviews, a lot of talking, and so I was really impressed by the interview, the style, the set, the design. I think Rashid Johnson took the pictures, if I'm not mistaken.
Oliver did the color.
Oliver did the colorist. Oh my God!
The colorist for all the pictures.
So our producer Kat has his favorite sports bar, Blondie's on the Upper West Side, and she was just informed me that the former busser at this bar did the coloring, was a colorist for this shoot. So shout out to Oliver in the house. Shout out Oliver. But I thought something was really interesting. And while we're here, let's just get your thoughts on this. And don't worry, I'm going to talk about Iran. I'm going to talk about DHS. I've noticed you guys are very particular about me in the MuseRoom. I remember I started out talking sports, and I remember someone came into chat. She was like, "Oh man, Mike, I love you. I thought you were going to talk about politics or technology. You talking sports? I'm out." So I know you guys are very particular. So just let me have some indulgence real quick. I'm going to talk about Jay-Z. I'm going to talk about Iran. I'm going to talk about DHS. I'm going to talk about funding. I'm going to talk about the TSA. So no need to worry about that. I'm going to talk about March Madness. Michigan's cutting down the nets. Everybody else, one shining moment. And then also, too, is opening day for baseball. People think it's a baseball hat. This is the NBA All-Star hat. Sidebar, it's like my favorite hat right now. Like, y'all gonna get sick of me in this hat. I used to be afraid. I used to be afraid. I never wore baseball caps because I felt it never fit my head. And the hats I would wear were dad hats. I was only wearing a hat because I'm bald, and so I would get sunburns. See the shiny dome? I would get sunburns so easy, and so but I'm always, especially I'm in LA all the time, I always just have a hat, or anytime I walk out in New York, I make sure I have a hat on. I never cared about the hat style, but for whatever reason, this one, and I never wore a snapback. I told you I'm in a silly mood today, so y'all about to get, I don't know what MuseRoom y'all gonna get today. I have no idea, but so now I'm in my snapback. Is that what the cool kids call it? Fellas, help me out. Snapbacks? Yeah, it's a snapback. And this one just fits me. I don't know what it is, but y'all, I'm about to order 10 of these same hats in case I lose or it gets dirty. I don't know if you can even wash hats. So I'm not a cool kid when it comes. Can you?
Yeah, they have a thing.
Okay, I'm not a sneaker guy or like a caps guy, but I'm so excited for this cat. I digress. I don't know where I was going.
I don't know where you were going either. We're going back to Jay-Z?
Jay-Z. Oh, I was saying I think I was in my hip hop era. I think I was being silly. Okay, thank you, Kat, for bringing me back home. But something he said that was interesting was, I know, after we talk about the first day of baseball, one thing Jay-Z said was that he doesn't know if he supports beef anymore in hip hop. And I found that to be really interesting. But what he was saying was that for all that comes with the beef now, it's no longer the type of beef that he was experiencing with him and Nas, but it was the beef now has gone towards social media dynamics, where the conversation and the intensity of like the insults are much more amplified, based on the fans and other people's engaging into it. And what I took from that, almost instigating the flame and instigating the fight and instigating the beef. And then also too, they discussed the stan culture. and how now when you do beefs, the stands end up battling each other, and also too intensifies the beef. And then also too, he was saying that it was becoming so personal, right? The personal attacks below the belt, talking about the wives, the girlfriends, and the children. And then that's a bridge too far for him in terms of what he was talking about from that one. So from that perspective, he doesn't support the beefs. Just by give me some commentary. Like, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Like, do you support Jay-Z's positioning on the beefs and that the beefs have gone into a different direction? Do you think, and I don't want to mischaracterize what he was saying, but essentially that beef shouldn't be part of the hip hop culture? I want to be very careful how I say. I don't want to mispresent that, but do we still hold beefs in the same regard that we used to, or has beef gone too far? So give me your thoughts. Maybe for everyone to engage, just say yes or no. Put Y or N. YN. See what I did there? Hip hop YNs. But put yes or no if you think that we have outgrown beefs in hip hop. So do you agree with Jay-Z that we have outgrown beefs in hip hop? Y or N? If you have some time, give more commentary to it, but just snap poll. Do you agree with Jay-Z that we have outgrown beefs in rap? Y or N? Thank you, Bet God, for me wearing my hat. Well, I appreciate it. Y, okay, RL's Y. Wade Chisholm is definitely a yes. The Rock Wale says, personally, we have enough conflict in our culture. I was done with the beef in the 90s. Oh, so you've been over beefs. All right. Okay, cool. What else we got? Daquan, Jay-Z don't have time for the childish nonsense. This is very true. But do you have time for the childish nonsense? That's the question. That 5 dude says yes. A James, what's up, A James? Unpopular opinion, the beef used to be based on talent level. Okay, but so you're saying now that the talent isn't there anymore. That's a really good. That's not an unpopular position. I don't think. I think a lot of people agree with you on that one. Caesar O'Hare says, "I'm with Jay-Z. I don't dabble in beefs." That's he who thinks. Okay, he who thinks says no. Beefs hasn't gone far enough. I think beefs went too far with Tupac and Biggie. So what's up, Shawnee? Okay, fair. Nicole definitely says yes, the beefs have gone too far. Jorge agrees with Jay-Z. Jay Wolf in California says yes, feels like more gimmicks instead of just who had better bars or clever bars and a better rap. Jay Wolf, I want to add on to that. And do you think social media amplifies that? And do you think stan culture amplifies that? And stans, you know what I mean, like the camps, right? Like the Beehive, the Biebers, that type of thing, the Swifties. That's what I mean by that. What's Instagram? What you talking? NYG fan page said he also said back then there was no social media like there is. Sounds very true. David Banner, what's up, my boy? David Banner has entered the building. Let's go. Good to see you, man. Me and David always have some incredible conversations. David, I gotta get you back on the show, brother.
That's deep.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got with the beefs. Vonnie, here comes VIP Vonnie. VIP Vonnie says beef always go too far. Love that he admitted his and Nas went a lot farther as he was expecting. Very true. I think that's an older version looking back, right? Sterling Investigation says I support what Jay-Z is beefing. What Jay-Z is saying. Beefs have gone way too far. Plus, Jay has grown and matured. He who thinks I prefer intellectual beef. Oh, he who thinks what intellectual beefs we get it. There's been great creative beefs. Wait, let me be mindful of that. I'll say that. Because art is smart and intellectual, so I want to be very mindful of that. There has been some extremely creative wordplay dynamics. I don't know if you've been intellectual in the sense of like from an academic scholarly perspective, or just intellect in terms of like creativity and how it's formed. There's two ways to look at art, because there's artistic genius and then there's like genius, right? And so genius nonetheless, but different perspective, different dynamics. All right, we're going to do two more comments, and then I'm going to roll on to Department of Homeland Security because these TS lines is crazy. TJ says yes, but they are so entertaining. You like mess. You like all the messy stuff. Jim, these are way too far. Daquan, but I'm going to say Drake won over Kendrick, though. Ooh, now that might be an unpopular opinion. I don't know. Those are two of my favorite rappers, so that was a hard one for me to follow along with. Jay Wilson says, yes, like J. Cole almost got dragged into it because he felt pressure. Exactly. Jay Wilson for the win. I was going to mention him, but I want to hear you guys' response first. J. Cole felt the pressure from social media to respond and from his homies hitting him up like, yo, you're going to let him talk to you like that? You're going to let him talk to you like that? He does a diss that's not in his constitution DNA. He retracted, pulled it, and apologized for it, and then got flack for apologizing. But I just don't get it, man. Can't win for losing. Ray Tuck J4D. Yes, I'm over it. And I didn't realize I was over it until I saw the recent T.I. and 50 beef. Okay, so that was a cat saying the same thing. That one extended it too far with that one. I think a lot of people kind of got exhausted once they saw the T.I. beef. I'm not even going to bring in 50 Cent to this conversation. All right, going once, go one more twice for a couple of things. We're going to move on. King Zelly, I rock with Jay-Z, but disagree. Now these days it goes too far for too long, but it definitely has to stay part of the culture. All right, cool. Bonnie, you get all the commentary because you're the only one VIP up in this piece. Kata want T.I. to stay on the gas, though. Oh, you messy, Bonnie. I thought you were in prayer. I thought you were a prayer woman. She got her tickets out. She can backslide again. He thinks creativity for sure. All right, folks. Listen, that was fun, everybody. Time is ticking. We have a lot to get to because so much is happening. Do you guys want me to discuss Iran first, or do you want me to discuss TSA first? Do a poll. Iran, do I or T? Iran or T? Iran or T? Iran. Vonnie probably wants T because she thinks it's gossip. Iran or the letter T for TSA? I for Iran, T for TSA. So you want to do Iran or TSA? All right, Iran. Oh, some T's entered the building. Instagram, y'all got to vote on this. What you thinking? All right, everybody wants the T. Everybody wants TSA. All right, T. All right, we're gonna go to TSA. So obviously, you guys have noticed where so much has taken part with the lines are being long. For those of you who received the homework last night or this morning when we sent it out, I really want the homework to discuss where we are with the Senate and where we are in our democracy today. The Senate has always been known as the most deliberative body in government, and that's for a reason. The Senate is there for 6 years. No need to tell you guys are my most educated listeners here at the MuseRoom, but we have, as you know, the president's 4 years, House Representative is 2 years, and the Senate is 6. That is intentional for the 6 years in order to maintain stability and continuity of our government, maintain stability and continuity of governance, of policy, political discourse, keeping the history and keeping the record of how things have worked in the past. The idea is for them, they don't have the pressure to keep running every 2 years, which means they really have this campaign every single year. When you're campaigning every single year, it's harder for you to be more deliberative in your approach to policy and policy debates. So that's why the Senate was known as the most deliberative body in government, because of the time that it takes for them to really sit on the issue and for an exchange of where it is. This situation that we are now seeing right now, there's no need for me to talk about how we're in unprecedented times, because we're always in unprecedented times. But I think this allows me to give the opportunity to talk about how bills are made and how the sausage gets done. And don't worry, you guys are so advanced. I don't need to do the schoolhouse rock. That's not where I'm going with this. But I'm going when you start talking about this, the term of pork spin. Have you heard of pork spin before? Pork spin is when, let's say, they're trying to pass a bill on nationalizing coffee, right? And so in order to get a bill in the Senate on nationalizing coffee, what the Senate majority leader would do, no matter who's in charge of the party, they feel that Ohio is a holdout. They'll say, what can we give you, Ohio, to make you say yes on how to nationalize coffee? And then Ohio then would say, well, in order to do that, you got to give me in Ohio $500 million for Clorox wipes, right? And so then you'll see Clorox wipes added in the bill in order for iced coffee to become nationalized. So the $500 million in the Clorox bill ultimately then becomes what we call pork spending, right? It's all this extra pork. So that's kind of where that term comes from, all in order to get the bill to get passed. So that's when you start seeing these debates being deliberative. What can we exchange? We now know that there's a partial government shutdown, but part of the partial government shutdown, what the Democrats are saying is, we are not going to fund DHS, Department of Homeland Security, and in particular ICE. We are willing to fund every aspect of it, this budget, and DHS, but not the carve out for ICE. We want to do ICE separately. What the Republicans are doing now is they're saying ICE must be included, and I'm gonna do a ticking linear timeline of where we are, because it's gone back and forth for a different period of time. But now the sticking point is ICE. ICE has become a political lightning rod within our national political discourse, for reasons why I don't need to explain to you all why it's become a political discord. The Republican parties ran on immigration for this last presidential cycle. This is something that President Trump really stood on when it came down to his reelection. This idea of securing the borders, getting the bad ones out, getting the illegals out. He felt that he had the permission to allow ICE to wage what they're doing right now in the streets of American cities. He believes that he has the will of the people. So ICE, for this administration and for the Republican Party, has been something they felt was really strong on immigration. What a lot of Republicans, though, you start to seeing this inter-party split, is because the Republicans are coming up short in every special election that has come up. Democrats are winning in key states and key districts. And even in the primary race, it's showing the having impact, and immigration and what ICE is doing seems to be bringing the Republican Party, their numbers down. Even just last night, a Democrat was able to flip the state seat that was held by a Republican and is in Mar-a-Lago's district. And so Republicans are seeing the writing on the wall. And so what they're trying to figure out is, what do they do with these Clorox wipes, right? What do they do with this ICE positioning? Do we leave it in? Do we leave it out? So now you're going to get to what you're seeing now is narrative framing. So the Republicans believe that they have a winning hand with holding on to ICE and saying that there's a dynamic of the Democrats want to defund ICE. Does that sound familiar with like defund the police? The Democrats are saying that the Republicans want this type of gridlock. Republicans want to keep you waiting in lines at airports. So that is kind of the framing of where we are. I want to break down just some numbers and how we got here. And the head of ICE, TSA officials are on Capitol Hill right now as we speak, testifying. I was able to do a little peek right after the Sway in the Morning show to check in on what they're saying. And there's some pretty interesting comments I'm going to bring into this. But just to show exactly where we are now 40 days into this partial shutdown from the Department of Homeland Security. This is no longer just like a routine standoff because there's so many issues and people that are being impacted. Air travel nationwide. This is spring break time period. So many people are traveling for business work days, Sunday and Monday. We saw the lines, 6-hour wait times, 8-hour wait times, lines wrapped outside the door to the parking lot. We also too have federal workforce stability that's being in question right now. Immigration enforcement is really at the core with ICE, and you see Congress is trying to figure out who's going to win the narrative battle. And now, because this is election time, trying to figure out who's going to win the narrative battle makes passing legislation that much more difficult. The core issue is really simple on the surface. It's rather just to fund DHS fully, or to fund it without ICE enforcement unless reforms are included. And that's really what the Democrats' positioning is going to be. But underneath all of that is just this structural fight over how immigration enforcement is governed and how federal agencies can be funded, split, or constrained. I'm going to talk about how the House of Representatives are not happy with this. They believe it will set a bad precedent when you begin to split away agencies from the overall budget in terms of getting funded, and we start to cherry pick. Do you set a bad precedent? And TSA is receiving the unfortunate receiving the brunt of it all. And they had the biggest pressure points. 480 TSA officers have already left. I repeat, over 480 TSA officers have already left. They were already under-resourced. They were already understaffed. You're seeing approximately 40 to 50% call-out rates at major airports. Wait times are exceeding well over 4.5 to 5 hours. There is right now $1 billion in missed wages approaching. Can you imagine trying to go to work knowing you're not going to get paid, and you know you're not going to get paid possibly for a while because everyone wants to win some type of narrative framing and some political argument when you're trying to put gas in the car? Mind you, I was just in LA and I saw I filled up a gas tank for like $6.50 at one tank. Kat is saying the same thing. She filled out the tank at $6.50. How is that sustainable? Like $6.50. That is not sustainable, right? And then you want me to come into work. I got to drive to work, first of all, because a lot of these TSA working at the airports don't have great public transportation system like New York, right? And so I got to get to work, put gas in, I got to eat, I got to feed my kid, babysitter, childcare development. How do you do that, right? With, oh, by the way, the war isn't going on in Iran right now, or gas is constantly being high. And then also too, you're starting to see I saw a crazy stat too as well, over 500% increase in assaults on TSA officers, which is atrocious. So shame on everybody who's being rude and mean to TSA officers. Y'all might want to be easy being rude to people who are not getting paid to work on your behalf. And the consequences, the lines are long. Smaller airports risk getting shut down because there's just no staff in order to pull everybody through and make everybody feel safe and comfortable. Travelers are missing flights, which is, I want to talk just a little bit deeper about travelers missing flights, because when you miss your flight, nowadays, before we got into the dynamic that we're in, everyone's flying right now. So you miss your flight, it's difficult to get a new flight, right? Sometimes because the flights are so at capacity, sometimes you may have to wait all day, or you may have to come back the next day and stay the night somewhere. So now you're missing your flight. That means you got to come back the next night, hoping to get back on the flight. That's if your flight can even get out. If you can get placed on another flight, you're paying for more hotel costs. These are really unexpected expenses that people just did not expect to occur. And particularly, I'm thinking about if you're on spring break with your kids, 2 kids, 3 kids, the mom, the dad, single parent, like all those prices add up after you save to go to spring break. You spend all the money on spring break. Now I'm coming, we missed our flight, I got to pay an additional room. I can't even imagine these parents come back from Disney World. Good God. Shit. That's right. You know what I mean? And so those are things that you have to be able to think about when it comes to that. And so when this happens, this becomes a much more larger dynamic at play. Then on top of this, you're seeing now ICE is being deployed at these airports. The administration has deployed over 150 ICE agents into airports. Here's what they are doing. And I almost want to put this in quotation marks, but sans for me putting this in quotation marks, what they're doing is they're patrolling the terminals, they're monitoring exits, providing visible presence, and they're not performing any TSA screening functions, right? But why I'm highlighting this is because ICE is funded and is operational. So can you imagine I'm a TSA agent and I'm standing next to an ICE agent, or I see an ICE agent in my peripheral, and I know they're getting paid, they're fully funded, I'm not. What kind of tension is that creating at work? But then also, what kind of tension is that creating in the energy of this space? And then also, too, it creates a visible imbalance of an enforcement capacity. And also, too, public-facing security of them patrolling. People are not feeling comfortable and safe going to these airports. And so it goes beyond just they're paid, TSA is not getting paid, but it's also, too, signaling from the administration, from this narrative of crackdown and being tough on immigration. That is not where you want to send your messaging and your priority base in space when it comes to immigration at a time when people are waiting over 4.5, 5 hours for you to put your campaign positioning at the forefront of the airport when they're not doing anything. I repeat, they are not doing anything. They cannot make the lines move faster because they're not trained enough to do security searches of bags of where we are. Here's where we are when it comes to on the table of where we are and where we're not, and why this is going to be even much more of a challenge. The Republicans have proposed to fund 94% of DHS immediately. They have proposed to remove $5.5 billion of ICE enforcement funding and to address ICE funding later in what we call reconciliation. Not yet. And then the idea is to reopen government operations right now. And this all comes down to just the whole idea of like fighting over the immigration and what the compromise is going to be looking like. But here's where the internal fighting begins for the Republicans. The conservatives are rejecting this plan outright. Like, this is just a non-starter. The conservatives see this as defunding ICE. Even temporarily is unacceptable. I think it's really interesting how we look at defunding the police. That was always seen as like this liberal, progressive narrative. But now the conservatives are seeing this as like defunding ICE. They do not trust. It's interesting that the conservatives are using the word trust, the process. The conservatives do not trust the promise of restoring funding, such as in reconciliations, it's difficult to pass and it's politically like vulnerable, politically unreliable. And so ICE is becoming a non-negotiable position inside of the GOP in terms of, but they don't even know which way to go with it. The Democrats, their position, they're unified on around one condition, and that is no ICE funding without reforms, right? Their position is no ICE funding without reforms. This is really interesting because the Democrats, I think, if you allow me a point of personal privilege, I've always felt like the Republicans have held the line. I've always felt the Republicans are always typically lock in step with their policy agenda and positioning. They usually begin to move at one unit. So the fact that we're seeing fractures in the Republican Party over this ICE issue, and we're seeing Democrats becoming united over this ICE issue, I find very interesting. I'll be curious to see how long the Democrats will be unified and will be lock in step before they begin to peel off, or maybe not. But I always find that Democrats are tougher to hold the line than the Republicans. Democrats demands that they want a judicial warrant for entry when it comes to ICE. They want to put limits on mask agents. They want accountability tongue twister. They want accountability changes after civilian deaths. Think about the two individuals that were killed in Minneapolis at the hands of ICE. They want to use this moment to reshape how enforcement operates. So just to kind of bring it to where we are at an impasse is that Republicans basically want to get funded now, reform it later. The Democrats are like, nope, reform has to be embedded in the funding. And that is the impasse that we are in right now. The breakdown is bigger than just the Senate. That's why I really highlight the Senate earlier for the most deliberative body, because now people in the House are calling. They are upset about the split funding approach. They call it very unusual, and warning that it sets a precedent for carving out agencies and how we look at this. Now, the Trump dynamic is going to be interesting because Trump hasn't really clearly identified or endorsed any deal. Trump has made statements like not happy, quote unquote, with potential compromises. He's linking the funding to broader policy demands. And so this is where we are as of up to date and where we are with this. The TSA officials have said that this is not only just unprecedented, but is not sustainable for TSA to function. And I'm not even getting into air traffic controllers and where we are with the funding from that and how they're understaffed and underfunded. We just saw what happened with the unfortunate incident between Air Canada and the fire truck that happened at LaGuardia. I'm not even going to address that here. No need for that. You guys already know what that is about. So this is why lines are still going to continue to be long. This is the impasse that we are at right now, in the sense of how these two sides will come together. So it really comes down to fund now, reform later, or reform as part of the funding. So essentially just iced coffee nationalized, or are we nationalizing iced coffee with some Clorox wipes in there? So I'm going to pause right there with that, and why there is a little bit of a delay, and why the lines could possibly still be long. Let me know your questions, your thoughts, your comments about this. Wade Chisholm says, why are ICE agents able to walk around airports without masks, but they can't do that? but they can't do their actual jobs without masks. I see what you're saying. You're asking why are ICE agents able to walk around airports without masks? Oh, because of the idea when you think about ICE doesn't have a role. Let me take this. This is a good question, so I want to walk this a little bit slower. In theory, ICE was sent to help with controlling of the crowds at airports. Even if it was positioned that they're going to help with getting the lines through quicker, ICE cannot do that because that is a TSA issue. TSA are the only ones who have been trained and cleared to be able to check baggage and check for items that are unlawful based upon the rules and regulations of what you can and cannot bring to an airport. ICE cannot control that. ICE was brought in for crowd control, but the airports already had a system when it came down to crowd control. And again, there were any incidents at these airports because of that. People may have been frustrated, people may have been angry, but there was like no riots, there's no protest, there's no incidents happening. So the idea was ICE was going to be there for crowd control. Like that's kind of what their mandate was. But as a result, because crowds are pretty much orderly in airports are used to queuing people up. They already have that in the system. They aren't doing anything. With the exception, there's some outliers. We saw what happened in San Francisco. Don't need to go into detail here. I want to keep everything linear. And so because of that, they can not have on mask. There's nothing controversial. They're not arresting people. They're not pulling out their guns. What we do see that, though, is happening on the streets. And what they are charged with in America's cities is a different charge than what they're doing here within the airports. The idea of, is this constitutional, what they're doing on the streets? They are using aggressive behavior and tactics because of their lack of training that they have. Do I need to go even further about the 2 individuals who were killed at the hands of ICE? And so because they know that they are in a gray area, blurred lines, constitutional, what is legal, and they're doing tactics that are not standard protocol for law enforcement officials and officers, that is why they're wearing their mask. And so there's 2 different dynamics that are at play. And because what they're doing on the streets in American cities is so controversial, that is why they are masked up. But this is why the Democrats are putting in their idea that wants to be funded for reform to occur in order for them to remove their mask when they are out in the street. So that answers your question, Wade Chisholm, hopefully. What else we got? Great question. I hope I explained everything. Democrats are asking ICE and DHS to follow the law. Why is that being portrayed as a huge and unreasonable ask? That's more of a rhetoric question. Nicole, what's up, Nicole? Reform cannot be continued to get kicked down the road. It must be addressed now. That's what the Democrats' position are saying. The Democrats are saying they want to hold the line that they're saying that reform must be tied to funding. Listen, this is all about, thank you, Nicole, because you're allowing me to go a little bit further here too as well. This is all about how do you optimize any leverage that you have. And when you think about this, the Democrats don't control anything. They don't control the House, they don't control the Senate, and they don't control the Oval Office. And one would say they're the minority in the Supreme Court, although the Supreme Court is not based upon a political party. Always say this as a qualifying statement: justices are picked based upon the president. So if you look at which type of president, Democrat or Republican appointed the justice, they're more likely leaning towards a conservative or progressive ideology. So with that being said, conservatives are the majority of the court. Wink, wink. So because they don't control any of the levers, a part of that, they can't forcibly stop a lot of these things that are occurring. But now when it comes to funding and voting, they do have the ability to hold things up, right? And they can hold things up because the Republicans can't do things without their votes that they're needed, which is why you're hearing this term filibuster, why President Trump is really interested in getting the filibuster removed, but why a lot of Senate Republicans, again, deliberative body, don't want to remove the filibuster because they know at some point what goes up must come down, meaning they're the majority now. they're going to be in the minority soon. And so they want to make sure they have whatever tools they have when they're in the minority, that they'll be able to stop it. So with all that being said, Nicole, the reason why the Democrats now are holding on to the idea of reform now is because they know this is their only, I wouldn't say only, this is a time to optimize their leverage. They're recognizing that Americans are waiting 4.5, 5, 6 hours in lines. This is not a Democrat issue. Republicans are waiting in line just as much as Democrats are waiting in line. The social class barriers are blurred at airports, and so it's affecting everyone. And so Democrats are saying, look, it's the Republicans who are doing this, not us. Here's what we would like to do, and it's not that hard. So what they're trying to do is hold on to that as much as possible, and that demand is going to be reform. And if they want to get things funded, this is where we are. I actually think that the House Republicans pushing back and saying we're not comfortable with this split of agencies and how agencies are funded because this sets a bad precedent, I think actually might help the Democrats in the long run in terms of what their reform demands are actually happening, because there is fracture in the Republican Party in the House. They want that to occur. And so I think, Nicole, that is kind of where we are when it comes to why it's so important about reform now from the Democrat position. We'll see if any Republicans will be willing to bend and give in and to compromise when it comes to that. Oh, we got something from Instagram from Monica O. Johnson. Do you think the Democrats will continue to hold the line or eventually give in on this issue? Again, Monica, that's a really great question. I was saying earlier that Republicans are always good with holding the line. They are very lock in step with the overall objective and the goal of their party is. The Democrats have a larger tent. And the Democrats have a larger tent with different priorities and different things that they want. This is also to an election year for presidents. This is also to, I'm sorry, let me take that, let me edit that a little bit. We're going to the midterms, and as his midterms conclude in November, it's pretty much presidential campaigning time. Presidential campaigns used to be around like 16 months. But now it's almost a full 24-month cycle to run for president now, right? And also, too, the House is in balance. Democrats feel they can pick up some seats. And so it becomes the question of, thank you, Monica, for allowing me to go a little bit deeper into the weeds. It becomes a question of who is vulnerable, right? So does the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, look at his caucus and see that there are House Republicans who are in vulnerable seats that are more Republican or Republican leaning? Does he give permission for those Democrats to peel away? To flip to the Senate, the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is interested in flipping the Senate. They believe there's a pathway there. I'm not here to say yay or nay about that. But does he have any vulnerable Democrats that are becoming up for re-election in November? So now we're going to start to look into what was called like whipping the vote. And part of whipping the vote is meaning how do your members need to vote in order for their survival in an election year? And so those are the questions that Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries will be asking his caucus, and those are the questions that Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer will be asking of his caucus too as well, in terms of where the votes are and who is vulnerable. Great questions you guys are asking today. Let's go. Any other comments, questions? Any other thoughts about where we are? Anything? Let's see. He who thinks, for anyone that watched the Daredevil series, Kingpin runs the city parallel to today's leadership. Oh, well, I'm going to see your Daredevil series and Raise Your Paradise series. Right? And say there is a parallel happening right now with Paradise. And that's a shameless plug for me to discuss the Mike Muse show coming up this Saturday. I'd interviewed the cast of Paradise. I did a town hall for it. It was an amazing. Cannot wait for you to see it this Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Sirius XM. All right. So with the little time that I do have, I'm going to pivot over to Iran. Just quickly an update about where we are with Iran, because then I do want to talk a little bit about March Madness. The MuseRoom, you guys are so smart. We did a deep dive into Iran last week, so I don't have to bring you guys too far up to speed with Iran and where we are with that. But in the most simplest term that I can think about in terms of how I could address this is The United States sent over a 15-point plan to outline to Iran in terms of how to end this diplomatically, even the diplomatic measures. The most things to highlight when it comes to it is a full end to their nuclear energy program, a complete dismantling of it. The second thing is just a dismantling of their missiles operations that they are able to have. In exchange, the United States will release the sanctions that have been placed on Iran due to their continuous advancement for enriched uranium to create nuclear grade weapons. Also to the Straits of Hormuz to be opened up as well. These outline was being delivered by Pakistan. Pakistan is seemingly becoming the forefront of the leader of, not the leader, but part of the mediator to help negotiations between Iran. We're seeing two different people, different groups and allies with the encouraging of sitting down and negotiating a diplomatic close. Egypt and Turkey are really focused on having Iran sit down and discuss. Saudi Arabia, though, is taking much more of a hard line, and they're saying they want America to, quote unquote, finish the job. They don't want a disgruntled Iran that has somewhat capability to continue going on down this race. The challenge that America is going to face is the fact that Iran is waging a different type of war. You're going to hear this term asymmetrical a lot. This is a fancy term of saying they're running a counter operation that is proving effective in a different battlefield of sort, so that they obviously can't compete toe to toe with our missiles, with our artillery, with our vessels, with our ships, with our warplanes. But what they are being able to do is to run a scrappy campaign when it comes to drones. And to be able to take down drones. They also, too, have had somewhat success. I don't want to say successful, but somewhat success of getting missiles into Israel. They've been able to penetrate Israel's Iron Dome. The way they've been able to do that is they've been using clusters of missiles that has kind of been able to almost offer up a hack into the Israel's Iron Dome and able to penetrate Israel. And so they are showing signs that they are able to, I don't want to say resilient, because I'm going to be very clear here. No one can contend with America's army. So I want to be very clear with that. But it comes down to, again, as we talked last week, what are the clear objectives that the Trump administration can say is achievable, has been achieved by this war? Because the achievables are not clear, it makes it that much more challenging. Our directives are different from what Israel wants. Israel wants complete regime change. We've discussed regime change, but was that really our real reason and rationale for going in? It's hard for a complete regime change, because once one member from that regime gets taken out, another one just emerges and steps up to the plate. And so they have a bench seemingly. And so like, what does that mean? Iran knows that as long as they continue to put threats into the Straits of Hormuz, that is creating a different economic pressure for President Trump over here in America, because as we've always discussed, oil is a global commodity and it comes down to supply chain. I don't need to do an econ class here with you all, but all about supply and demand. If oil is not able to be transported through the Straits of Hormuz, that means limited supply of oil is in the system. And there's a limited supply of oil in the system, supply versus the demand that is there. What do you normally see? Prices go up, right? Limited supply, high demand, prices go up. Iran is very aware of that. And that's why you're seeing different remarks that are being made by President Trump, often in terms of things are going good, things are flowing around the Straits of Hormuz. We're going to be able to back insurance for our commercial vessels to go through. One could say he's signaling to the markets to do market manipulation. Manipulation is a strong word for me to use as a journalist right now. You can say those comments he's making knowing the markets are listening. I'll say it like that. And then, therefore, you start seeing the markets fluctuate with the price of oil going down. At its peak, it was around a little bit over $120 a barrel. Now, last time I didn't check right before I came on the MuseRoom, but it was hovering at $100 a barrel. So we have seen a decrease in that, but that still is going to be impacting the consumer. And so that's kind of where we are as of now, as of 1:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. where we are with the Iran deal. So there's been an outline given. Iran has they pushed back and responded. They have no intention of negotiating. And look, they may feel that they are affirmed and not wanting to negotiate because, there's reports that was right before this war began that Iran was in conversation with the Trump administration regarding what this nuclear deal was going to look like. And then next thing we know, we're in a war with Iran. And so Iran doesn't feel trust, use the word trust from earlier in a conversation, that these will be good faith negotiations. And what's the incentive for them coming back to the table when they were at the table previously and a war still happened? All that being said, with the Trump sending over the 15-point outline to end this war diplomatically, the Trump administration, Department of Defense, has sent over 2,000 troops into the region. And so you're seeing these two parallel dynamics of troops entering the region and then a diplomatic strategy or outline being exported out through Pakistan. But then one could say that, what is going to be the role of the troops? We're still not clear of the role of the troops as of 1:54 at me prior to starting the MuseRoom. I want to be very clear. Things happen with Trump so quickly. What I'm saying, he could be countering right now as I'm talking. We just don't have access to it. But with that being said, one could say that we don't know what the clear objectives of these 2,000 troops are going to be, but is it just optics to show Iran that, look, the troops are there, you might want to come to the table, right? And so what is the tactic of sending the 2,000 troops? But again, these are questions that the Trump administration is going to have to ask as, mothers and fathers are sending their sons and daughters into this battlefield. They want to know, what is the point of this war? All right. Questions, comments that you may have. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what's good. What are your thoughts on this? I'm going to switch to March Madness in a minute, but if you guys have any closing thoughts about Iran or about anything that we mentioned so far. The Rock Wale D1 says, question, Mike Unsway, they used to post the recordings of your political news segment on YouTube. I used to share that commentary. Do you know why they stopped? And can they start doing it again? Oh, that's a good question. I'll hit up Sway. I'm gonna take a picture of that really quickly so I can show Sway. He'll get a big kick out of this one. This is me trolling him now. In this moment, I'm gonna say, what's goody? The people want it. The people want it. The people want it. Thank you for allowing me to be petty with him. He's going to get a kick out of it. Thank you, The Rock. And I appreciate you always rocking with me. The events taking place in Iran is affecting the stock market as well. Yep, because really the oil, amongst other things, but really it's the oil prices because it's a global commodity. Any others? Let's see. All right, perfect. Let's go to, as we close, a little bit of sports. Let's have a little bit of fun. What we got? Who do you have? Just type it in. Who do you have going all the way for March Madness? In the 4 minutes I have left with you. Men for now, because now I'm going to talk about women in a minute. But for the men, who do you have going all the way? Just put your team name in there. Michigan, for me, cutting down the nets. We are number one. People think Duke in my pool. A lot of people have Duke, which is crazy. They beat us. I get it, but we're gonna beat them in the finals because it's crazy. These people are crazy. The people are crazy, and you're crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy. Houston, Miami, Teddy. Wait, you're still on Miami, Teddy? Oh, okay. So you said Teddy got robbed. I had to cut the nets. They're not cutting the nets. There's a lot of Arizona in my pool. So listen, I'm so pissed. I'm third cat in my pool, but only because 1 and 2 are tied and they both have Arizona. I'm like, who is picking Arizona? Arizona Wildcats are not cutting down the net. That's all I got to say about that. Teddy, University of Maine got robbed. Houston all the way. I do got Houston going too far. They're not going to go all the way. Trojans are out of there. And then what else we got? University of Houston. There's a lot of Houston. Are you guys all from Houston? Houstonians? Wade Scissor.
I got some friends that are Arkansas.
Oh, you do? Arkansas is going to get knocked off by... Arkansas plays tomorrow. Who they play? They play Michigan State? I think, yeah. Michigan State is number 1. Arkansas is number 4. That's going to be a good game. Oh, no, that's Alabama. No, we play Alabama. Sorry. Michigan plays Alabama. Michigan State plays Connecticut. I forgot who Arkansas has. We'll see y'all in the finals, Mike. Let's go all day. It'll be tough for Michigan with the one of their top guys hurt, but still, either you guys, Arkansas or St. John's for men. Oh yeah, that's St. John's. I'm really curious about. Yeah, I'm curious about St. John's. March Madness is all about momentum, and St. John's has momentum.
That's the most client.
Oh, is it? I know, Mo. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
One of our mutual friends' client hit that winning shot. But I'm actually looking at St. John, though. No wins to the School of North. That must be Ohio State Buckeye going down there. Okay, so in a little bit of time we have left, that is the men. So we all agree Michigan's cutting down the nets. I said it. Point of personal privilege. The women, South Carolina all day for me, baby. Who you guys got on the women's side cutting down the nets? South Carolina for me. Okay, South Carolina for you, Darquan. Okay, you guys South Carolina too as well. Who in the women's you guys have cutting down the nets? I got South Carolina all of the way. It was so good to see Flo Janae being so emotional with her last game at LSU. I thought that was very kind. I'm a big fan of Flo Janae. I'm excited for her career and for her future. Lady Gamecocks all the way, all day. Finally, Nicole, we agree on something. UConn. I don't think UConn's got it this year, but UConn always has a great program. But nah, it's all about South Carolina for me. South Carolina. No. Okay, wait. Finally, we got something we can all agree on here. Everyone is saying South Carolina. Finally, the MuseRoom is all on one accord. I know I stressed the truth a little bit when I said everyone's agreeing that Michigan's going to win, but I digress. Woo Pig Suey. Who is this?
Georgia, isn't it?
Woo Pig Suey. I don't know.
Or is that Arkansas?
I don't know who Woo Pig is.
That's Arkansas. That's their cheer. Woo Pig Suey.
Oh, I thought Razorbacks. Is that Razorbacks a Woo Pig? Is a Razorback a pig?
That's their cheer.
Oh. I don't remember. Okay. One of our colleagues used to do Woo Pig Suey, which clearly I tuned out from that because that sounds crazy. Y'all, what is a Woo Pig Suey? Arkansas, explain yourself. Arkansas, come to the front. Come to the front, Arkansas. What is a, oh, it's a hog. Okay, so a Razorback is a hog. Okay, he who thinks a Razorback is a hog, and they make that type of sound, Woo Pig Suey?
That's what the cheer is.
Oh, Arkansas, y'all should root for yourselves. Yeah. Y'all should just be quiet, Arkansas, because nobody wants that cheer. That cheer is awful. I think you guys are a good academic school. I know nothing about it, but like, yeah, y'all need better mascots and better cheers. I want South Carolina to win, but UConn will win it. Okay, listen. Today's opening day. Who we got? I'm Dodgers gonna win. 3P for the Dodgers. Who we got? Who we got with the World Series champ? I know Cat got the Yankees. I got the Dodgers. What we got? What we got? What we got? What we got? Yes, Noob Cesar. Oh, you're an Arkansas guy? So Caesar, hit me up, man. DM me. We got to talk, brother. I know you went to Arkansas. That's what's up. That sounds crazy, though. Y'all cheer is crazy. You know, Woo Pig Seaweed. It's crazy. Shamel, Dodger Blue all day. Let's go. Teddy, you are so Miami, Teddy. That is hilarious. I love you, Teddy. You are very consistent. Miami, Dodgers, Yankees. All right. Oh, Texas into the chat. Here we go. The Hook'ems. I need to block you. Oh, man. All right, so we got Dodgers, Yankees, Texas, I guess. So really, Dodgers and Yankees are the dominant. Oh, the Astros, okay. Astros. But we still got Dodgers and Yankees. Dodgers. Oh, what's up, Lisa? Dodgers, Yankees, Dodgers. Okay, Dodgers it. Dodgers got the money. I mean, you just can't compete with the money and the talent. What up, Mookie Betts? Love me some Mookie. I have a Mookie Betts bobblehead. I'll bring him next time. All right, y'all. We've had so much fun with you all. Thank you so much for being here. I enjoyed it. I love you all so much. Wednesdays are like the favorite part of the week now for me because I get a chance to interact and engage with all of you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys had some fun. Yes, I'm resting on our Clorox wipes that are now part of our national coffee bill. See what I did there? Until next time, folks. Please tune in this Saturday for the MuseRoom. Excuse me. The Mike Muse Show, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard, 4 p.m. Jesus Christ. The Mike Muse Show, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, channel 126, The Cast, Paradise, Town Hall. It's going to be great. You don't want to miss it. All right. I love you guys. Oh, twice a week. I see you. We're gonna build up to the twice a week. We're going to build up twice a week. Thank you, Mika Boo, for all you do and for showing up for me and with me. All right. Love you guys. Until next time. Oh, Instagram, where you at? Y'all get so mad at me. Hey there, my fellow Leo. Let's go. Yvonne, yes. Kimberly, what's good? Hacker World, thanks, Mike. No, thank you, my friend. Angie Birch, I don't know nothing about sports. I just want to hear you, Mike. Thank you, Angie. I love you for that. I hope you're able to hear a lot about Iran and DHS and all that fun jazz. All right, Instagram, I'm signing out from you guys too. I love y'all so much. Peace. Instagram. And okay, Yard Stream, we out. Email us. Peace. UNC's out of here. Shine Combs, be good. Shawnee, yes, Tigers. Arr, the roar. I think they say the roar. I don't know. They roar, Shawnee? Hit me up. I don't know.